with Berkeley. She is a very unique topic in music business, which I don't think has been anything like this done here before. But not only has she researched heavily and been involved in this topic, but you'll see as she introduces even further into it that she has been putting in real world experience within what she's preaching as well. So let's welcome Olivia to the stage.
Hi all, I want to start by thanking you all for coming. My name is Olivia Lubbert, and today I'll be presenting Succeeding in the Music Industry, a comprehensive industry guide for the independent artist. Now, this distinction explores the new age of marketing in the music industry. With the rise of social media and other digital platforms, the marketing industry is rapidly changing from its traditional approaches. This distinction reflects my work as a band's marketing coordinator. In the summer of 2025, I enrolled in Music Marketing 101 with Berkeley College of Music. And the summer before, I enrolled in Music Business 101. With Music Marketing 101, I was tasked with establishing a connection and working alongside them to market an upcoming release. While this is a phenomenal way to gain real-world experience, I only had 2 days to connect with an artist. Considering this, I sent out many emails and even more DMs, and to my luck, an independent band based in Seattle, Washington, Good Enough, reached out, being very interested in working with me. Throughout the summer, I composed a thorough marketing plan tailored specifically towards the band. I received feedback from Christopher Wares, Berkeley College of Music's Assistant Chair of Music Business, and his industry experience is quite extensive, and he's most notably an active member of the Recording Academy. For those of you who don't necessarily know what the Recording Academy is, those people pick who win the Grammys. So, pretty cool professor, if I do say so myself. But I wanted to give a little brief overview of what I'll be covering today. So, I'll be covering working with the band, streaming, digital marketing, and live performances. So, before I go into the meat of this distinction, I kind of want to give you a basic definition of the music industry. It's a multifarious market, meaning that it's reliant on many different factors, and it's constantly changing. Because of this, there is no one-size-fits-all method, so you just kind of have to know all the different aspects of the industry, and then use that knowledge to approach it in whatever way you deem fitting. So, I began working with Good Enough through Berkeley College of Music. They're originally from Atlanta, Georgia, and they've been breaking into the Seattle music scene. The duo kickstarted their career in their hometown of Atlanta, Georgia, often performing at the local Smith's Old Bar. Not far into the career, the two relocated to Seattle, Washington. There they have undoubtedly established a name for themselves, and they've embarked on a mini tour performing at various venues in the Seattle area. They released their first song, Started, in 2022, and at the time of writing this, it has accumulated 9,300 streams on Spotify alone. Since then, they have 11 other tracks, each with its own unique story. Most notably, the band released Solace, their first EP in 2025. Since its release, at the time of writing this, the EP had garnered over 20,000 streams. But as of today, the single that I've worked more closely with, which you'll be hearing about in a little bit, has 32.7 thousand streams. So, the EP streams have increased very significantly. The band consists of 2 members, each possessing their own unique talents. Asha Foley, the lead singer, captivates her fans with her emotional and relatable lyrics, and it offers the many experiences that people can relate to. On the other hand, Marcus Jernigan, the duo's guitarist and producer, piques fans' interest when not being Seattle's most performative male through his calming tracks and intricate guitar playing. Each member is devoted to their craft, and it's really obvious in their work that they do. The band is often compared to the Marias and Clara. The duo blends indie and bedroom pop into a unique sound. The lyrics connect with fans on a personal level, and each song tells a heartfelt story from the duo's personal lives. Throughout these songs, the duo employs genuine, relatable lyrics, enabling listeners to connect with Good Enough's music. From the start, the duo's had a strong message that they want to convey: you're good enough. This message stays prevalent throughout their content and musical releases. In their most recent EP titled Solace, the duo strove to promote the idea of comfort during hard times of despair. The work they create and the music they create intends to provide peace and comfort among their listeners. Now, I worked very closely with Baby Come On Over. It was the second lead single of their EP Solace, and this is where I received most of my feedback at Berkeley College of Music, but beyond that, I worked with the release of Solace as a whole. So, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about Baby Come On Over, but you guys are going to hear from me a lot today, so I figured who else better to talk about it than the band themselves. Here's Asha Marcus.
We're good enough. I'm Marcus.
And I'm Ash, and we're here to talk about our single Baby Come On Over from our EP Solace. Came out back in October, and we're just going to explore the meaning and some of our inspo behind it. It's our first track off our EP, kind of explores the themes of going back to something that you know isn't good for you, going back to this feeling of like what this person gave you, but clearly you know like they're not who you thought they were anymore. The whole song kind of feels like a dream, has that like hazy, dreamy feeling to it. We did that pretty intentionally because it's pretty representative of what it's like to be in that kind of relationship where your like passion stop, like cycles through, so it kind of explores like this toxic cycle.
For this track specifically, a lot of the inspo came from the Marias, and I was really just trying to recreate their song Sienna, but then I failed epically, but I epically made Baby Come On Over. So, listen.
And we want to give a huge shout out to Olivia. She's been such a great help. This dissertation that she wrote is amazing, and we've really seen some results from her findings. So, thank you so much, Olivia!
Ash and Marcus have been phenomenal people to work with, and I'm so incredibly grateful that they not only responded, but that it was them who responded. So, working with the single, one of the biggest things that I was striving to target was streaming. Now, streaming has changed the music industry completely, and for the longest time, music has been a well-established industry, but it officially became recognized as one in the 19th century. Originally popularized for the sale of piano scrolls, the recording side of the industry continued to develop as technology advanced alongside it. Piano scrolls turned into wax cylinders to records, which turned to CDs, then Napster, and now streaming. Now, in talking about streaming, I feel like Napster is very important to talk about because Napster kind of paved that way for streaming to come about to what it is today. Napster gave the push that the industry needed to accept streaming. It was a platform that allowed listeners to upload music to a database for free. As a result, anyone had access to these uploads for no charge. It became an accessible method to listen to music that the consumer wanted without having to purchase an entire album or wait for it to be played on the radio. Aisha Rasco, a journalist for NPR, expresses that fans grew accustomed to getting individual songs for cheap. And as a result, many legal troubles came about Napster, ultimately leading for it to collapse. Which, even though it did collapse, it inspired streaming as we see it today. Streaming prompted the industry's biggest shift, and no one could have prepared for it. It came with many difficulties, but also many positive additions. Unlike physical media, streaming does not ensure steady influx of income. According to John P. Kellogg, a highly credited entertainment attorney, under the Bill of Rights, artists are guaranteed 12 cents per song or 2.31 cents per minute under any physical album. This is a guaranteed income for the artist, but streaming does not offer this. Even more, streaming does not offer much income at all. On Spotify, artists make 0.004 cents per stream, meaning to make $100, you would have to get 25,000 streams. This makes streaming a very unreliable source of income. But on the other hand, streaming has been extremely successful at expanding an artist's reach. Artists were formerly limited to where their music could be placed. If they only had a pool to place their music in local record stores, how would they expand internationally or even just nationally? This barrier no longer exists due to streaming. Music is now accessible to anyone who uses a streaming service, or really anyone who has access to internet. Good enough, a small indie band located in Seattle has not performed outside of Seattle and Atlanta. Regardless, one of the cities that streams them the most is London. So this goes to say that this is possible because of streaming, because their reach is more accessible and their music is more accessible to consumers all around the world. Now, Spotify and Apple Music are two of the biggest streaming services we see today, but I work more closely with Spotify, so that's what we're going to talk about more so today. It was originally founded in 2006. Spotify is changing the industry as we recognize it. This streaming service is one of the key components that led to change physical media to streaming. Spotify has worked diligently to provide artists with the tools they need for successful release through its Spotify for Artists feature. This feature is designed to amplify the artist's voice, help understand their audience, connect with fans, and grow their businesses. It offers various promotional tools that are easy to use so artists can keep their main focus on the art itself. Artists are able to promote their music through these features. Spotify offers a marquee, for example, which is what you see up here. A marquee is essentially a big notification that comes up, offering people to click on the link to go to the album or the release, or they have to dismiss it. While people aren't required to click go to album, they're required to interact with it, meaning that it's still giving them that end to reach new audience members. Other services include a showcase feature that exhibits a message at the top of the user's screen. The artist can choose what this message says, and it's a phenomenal way to reach listeners directly. Beyond this, artists can pitch their songs to playlists directly through Spotify and be discovered by users through the Discovery Room. Beyond promotion, Spotify offers many features that allow artists to connect with fans. Artists can create clips that showcase that are showcased to listeners and encourage them to continue streaming the artist's music. Artists can add canvases to their releases, which plays a short video on repeat throughout the song chosen by the artist. It not only engages listeners with a visual representation of the song, but it also allows listeners to kind of grasp that intended meaning of the song. Beyond this, artists can add an artist pick to their profile, and this highlights the release they choose with a large banner above it reading artist pick. It's almost like a big digital billboard, kind of saying, pick me, listen to me, So the streaming service does not stop at the success of artist music, but it also tries to create success in the artist business. And this is really important because, as I mentioned earlier, you get 0.004 cents per stream. So any other ways to generate revenue and income is extremely important. So Spotify offers a space for artists on their profiles where they can sell their merch or advertise and sell tickets to their events. And you cannot always rely on a fan to have social media and to stay updated on an artist's website, but if they're listening to the artist's music, they have to listen to it somehow. So this is a phenomenal and great way and another really reliant feature that music artists can use. Additionally, artists can ask for tips and donations, which could be very vital for those independent artists, but also if you look at bigger artists. We've seen artists like Panic at the Disco who accept tips and donations for their charity organizations or other organizations they're very involved in. So this feature does not have to go directly just towards revenue towards the artist, but can go towards causes that they're interested in. Lastly, Spotify offers many features that allow artists to better understand their audience. Segments can be used to break down the types of listeners in the artist's fan base. Monthly active listeners are divided into 3 groups: super listeners, moderate listeners, and light listeners. Super listeners are consumers who have listened to the artist's music at least 15 times in the last 28 days. The moderate listeners have listened 3 to 14 times within the last 28 days, and the light listener has listened 1 or 2 times during the last 28 days. Beyond monthly listeners, we have what we call program listeners, and these are people who only consume the artist's music through program services, such as Spotify's DJ feature or editorial playlists, which we will dig into in a little bit. Segments allow artists to view their new listeners that they gain, and it distinguishes them between new listeners and new active listeners. And we also are able to see reactivated listeners, and these are people who had once listened to the artist's music but no longer do anymore, but then decided that, hey, I want to come back and listen again. So Good Enough takes full advantage of all these features on Spotify's promotional tools. Leading up to the release of Solace, the duo implemented Spotify's countdown feature, allowing fans to stay alert to the upcoming release. They utilized the Canvas feature across many of their songs, and for Baby Come On Over, it's kind of like they're in a lake with these sparkles coming down, and if you saw Ash mention, it's kind of like a fairy dream-like song. And so with her ethereal vocals, it complements it very well and almost places you inside of that song and her vocals, which I think is a really phenomenal way to go about things. It transforms the listener's experience, and it's allowed them to visualize the song. And though not considered a promotional feature through Spotify for artists, the duo has posted multiple public playlists on their profiles for fans to engage with. 2 of these playlists are dedicated to Ash and Marcus's favorite songs, which is a phenomenal marketing strategy. Fans love to see into the lives of artists, and they like to feel connected with them. And I know for me personally, I've made a lot of friends and connected with people over our music taste, so this is a great way for the artists to connect with their fans as well. Beyond this, they have a playlist that represents the songs that inspired them to create Solace. So not only does it give fans an insight into the creative process behind the EP, but it also gives potential listeners who listen to those other artists a chance to be like, wait, maybe I might like this one too. So with streaming comes the topic of playlisting. Playlisting is one of the most fundamental components of reaching exposure for any artist, but especially for smaller artists. Playlisting is concluded by achieving spot on playlists or other digital service providers, also known as DSPs. With over 100 million consumers paying for some sort of streaming service, placement on playlists can be the difference between a successful and unsuccessful release. It provides a gateway to new audience members and a gateway to new music for potential listeners. Playlists are categorized under 4 groups: algorithmic, personalized, editorial, and user-generated. Algorithmic They serve user interaction, chart placements, and current trends. This type of playlist does not involve any personal information in its content. Personalized playlists are tailored specifically to the listener. Streaming services analyze user data and create playlists tailored to each consumer. This type of playlist serves as a highly effective way to tap into the listening habits of potential consumers. And considering this, it's important to accurately tag and describe a song so that it reaches the right audience. Editorial playlists are curated by other humans. They are designed to target listeners with a specific vibe or concept. Often the DSP's logo will be visible on the playlist cover, and playlists with these visible logos are incredibly influential and can be a key component of an artist's career taking off. If you look at the screen above, these are 2 playlists that I took directly off of my Spotify, and these are editorial playlists created by Spotify for me and my listening habits, and you see that Spotify logo in the corner. So when I see that, I know that it's music that I would definitely like to listen to, and having that Spotify logo makes it feel more official and more likely to be listened to by consumers. But with playlisting comes playlisting strategy. There is no one-size-fits-all method for getting placed on playlists, but combining many methods can be extremely powerful in this process. Profile optimization is the top priority for artists. Streaming services like Spotify and Apple Music offer special features for artists to utilize. Each service offers unique features, and it is vital to understand them. Beyond this, each playlist style has its own approach. While artists cannot directly approach curators to be included in algorithmic playlists, they can encourage fans to interact with their music, which will increase the numbers. Algorithmic playlists include playlists like Billboard Hot 100 and Spotify's Top 50. Though personalized playlists have no human intervention, there are still steps that artists can take to ensure that the music is successfully placed in them. Because these playlists are curated based on the listener's streaming history, it is vital that artists carefully register the song's metadata. Metadata in music refers to the information available for the release. This can range from the release date to the mood and overall vibe of the song. This information gives DSPs an accurate understanding of the release and allows them to properly place it onto other playlists. Editorial playlists follow a very similar approach. The release's metadata is just as vital for this type of playlist, and it gives curators insight into the song's background and ability to work alongside other songs. Directly contacting playlist curators can also secure artists a spot on a playlist, and often curators are eager to find fresh music to make their playlist stick out from others, so this is a great opportunity for both parties. The Indie Bible is an exceptional resource. We're known for its extensive contacts, including playlist curators, music editors, and radio stations. Some curators do require secondary submission on platforms such as Submit Hub, and with this there is a $2 fee per submission. And while this can add up, you're also paying for your song to be guaranteed to be listened to. So upon the release of Solace, we utilized the Indie Bible to email numerous playlist curators, radio stations, music reviewers, and magazine journalists. These professionals will receive a steady stream of submissions, so we have to consistently email many different people so we can know that at least someone out there has to be listening. To our surprise, KDXP, a Seattle-based radio station with over 4 million subscribers on YouTube, responded. They were interested in the entire EP, but they were especially interested in Wish I Couldn't. While the response we received was not from a playlist curator, it was a playlisting strategy that put us in this position. And getting a response not only from an influential radio station, but from a local radio station is honestly a dream come true. Now, upon getting on playlists and streaming, you also have to understand how to market the artist, and with that comes developing a brand. Branding is the most important concept that an artist will develop. According to the American Marketing Association, branding is the act of promoting yourself as a brand by crafting a distinct identity, reputation, and online presence to showcase your skills, expertise, and personality. In any industry, branding serves as the key identifier for that person, product, or event being marketed. An artist's brand captures the essence of who they are as a performer and what they want people to see in them. It is vital to thoroughly develop the artist's brand and to commit to it. Abandoning the brand developed around an artist can lead to poor marketing, and then fans and non-fans are no longer to recognize what they've seen in artists that they've been attached to or what they've always identified within that artist. So to develop an artist's brand and image, there are many factors to look at. And while understanding the artist as a person and who they want others to see is very important, it is equally important to identify what they imagine their fans to be like. And when developing this, many marketing professionals use what we call an ideal fan avatar. An ideal fan avatar is what you see right here. This is one that I created when I first started working for Good Enough. And it's basically, you come up with a person that you visualize listening to your music. Where do they go to school? What is their occupation? How much do they make? Where do they shop? What do they drink? All these are very vital questions, and it might seem silly, but when you have a visual representation of who you want to market your music towards, it makes it a lot easier to create content and to target that person. So once they understand the artist and their ideal fans, professionals have to dig into the artist's physical characteristics. What message does the artist want to relay? Are they going to associate themselves with a specific color? And I mean, the list of questions is endless, but they're very vital to properly capture an artist's image. Before even approaching these questions, one has to first reach into the artist, not as a creator, but as a consumer. What other musical artists do they listen to or influence them? Who inspires their fashion choices? And I mean, these questions are all very important. When we look at the video, Marcus mentioned that he tried to create a song inspired by the Marias, because that is an artist that influences them and that they love very deeply. And so we see that in their branding and in their image and what they create today. And that's why it's important to dig into these questions. So once you develop a brand, you're able to target social media. Social media has completely changed the industry a lot like streaming has. On the surface, social media appears to be simply a promotional tool, but for independent artists like Good Enough, it's a complete game changer. Berklee College of Music noted that social media is a dynamic platform for building and nurturing genuine community connections. Social media turns promotion into an art, allowing musicians to present their music not just as a product, but as a way to connect with fans and build a community. Social media, from a promotional standpoint, is a great way to engage audiences on a personal level. It allows artists to promote their music without making consumers feel like they are consistently being sold a product. And instead, artists can promote their music while building a community of supporters. Furthermore, it gives supporters the opportunity to use the artist's song in their own content. And so anytime you post a TikTok, that song, you're introducing it to a new audience. You're introducing it to a new group of people. So it is still a promotion tactic, whether you're saying, listen to this song that I'm doing a TikTok to. It's still promotional. So social media makes that very, very great, especially for independent artists who do not have large labels and teams to rely on. For Good Enough, I'm the only team member. So having people make content to their songs is just such a phenomenal way to reach out to these other people. Social media uses algorithms to push content to consumers. The algorithm gathers user feedback, analyzes what they interact with, and push out content of a similar nature. It is very important that the artists understand their target audience, which we've developed with that ideal fan avatar, and tailors their content to them so that the algorithm does not push content to people who don't want to see it or who won't interact with it. But it's equally important that the artist takes full advantage of all the tools offered by social media services. Now, social media has become a big hub for A&R, which is artist and repertoire representatives and labels to discover talent. A&R representatives often scour thousands of demos for the next big thing in the music industry, or they seek potential talent through live music such as events, festivals, and busking. While scouring through the many demos submitted to labels are a very common practice, I would know I have sent Good Enough demos to many labels. It's just not very reliable. So when you look at social media and these A&R representatives discover an artist, they no longer have to take a chance. They're able to see actual numbers and actual details about how people are receiving the artist and their music. So they're no longer forced to just take a chance on, hey, the crowd's interacting well with them, but will other people? So with understanding social media comes content strategy. In the planning stage, creatives consider key performance indicators known as KPIs, target audiences, and target outcomes. KPIs are used to measure success and set goals in the business industry. The KPI gives marketing creatives a tangible way to measure success beyond basic numbers. Creatives then consider the target audience, which is arguably the most important part of content strategy. Marketing creatives must understand who they are catering to in order to produce successful, meaningful content. Creatives ask themselves many questions. What do they want to get others to get from the content that they are seeing? How do they want them to act upon seeing it? And these are just two of many questions. But regardless of which social media platform a creator gravitates towards, consistency is the key to success. And to keep this consistency, to promote this consistency, many marketing creatives use what we call content pillars. Now this is a more aesthetically pleasing content pillar. I kind of made them look a lot more visually appealing, but essentially you get topics that creatives would like to create content towards, and then you make little, easy to produce content ideas for the band to work with. Now the band often promotes their music through social media. They often talk about thrifting and Seattle life, and so these content pillars have been a great way to crank out content ideas, and they're able to look on it, find content they want to do, like if they like an idea I give them, and they produce it. So now the duo gravitates more strictly towards TikTok, like many artists do. And so with over 6 billion downloads internationally, TikTok is inarguably one of the largest, if not the biggest, social media platforms right now. It was originally founded in 2017 by the Chinese company ByteDance, and it allows users to create short-form content and presents it in a scroll-like interface. The platform is offering a new pathway into the music industry for artists big and small. Artists can turn to the app to promote their music in a way that makes the song more than just music, but a moment. It allows audiences to become part of the marketing movement, and it encourages artist-fan interaction, building a community and a fan base. In the words of Rolling Stones, the message is clear. If you want to be heard, be on TikTok. TikTok offers a platform that allows artists to build a following and community before even releasing music. This gives them a cushion to fall back on during the release stage without fear of complete failure. It gives artists a better chance of success in such a competitive industry. If we look at artists like Alex Warren and Addison Rae, they have demonstrated that this path can lead to success for new artists. Both have built a large following on their respective TikTok accounts, amassing over 100 million followers collectively. We've seen their success in the Hype House before, and if we look at Ray's debut song, Diet Pepsi, it peaked at number 54 on the US Billboard Hot 100, showing that these large followings can make success happen. Now, Good Enough has leaned to leverage their TikTok like the artist mentioned above. In August of 2025, Marcus went viral for winning a competition and being declared Seattle's most performative male. Here's a photo of him speaking at said competition. Their TikTok posts surrounding this topic gained over 220,000 views collectively. Their TikTok posts surrounding this topic gained those views, and in this trend even helped him get recognized by popular YouTube creator Papa Mute. His video pertaining to Marcus's success in the competition gained over 2 million views, which was huge, you guys. It was crazy to open YouTube and see such a large amount of views for the band I worked with, you know? During the height of this attention, I strategized content that was tailored specifically towards this audience, allowing them to ride up popularity from it as long as possible. Given the performative male trend, the content strategy I developed often consisted of Marcus doing traditionally performative things to stay within his brand and image that he has created amongst his fans. The duo continues to create content consistently, showcasing themselves as artists and as people. Through this, they give fans insight into their daily life. One of their most popular segments includes them standing outside each day until they get recognized by someone. They have not yet to be recognized, but I feel in my bones that it will happen soon. It has become a common interaction space between them and their fans, with over 45 videos in this series. Additionally, they have a series where they post that they are going to certain stores asking if anyone needs anything. And this has become especially popular amongst their fans. It's become an inside joke. Amelia herself, who's sitting in this audience, commented that she wanted pepperonis. Really fun to see your cousin in the comment section of the band you work with. But it's become a great inside joke, so honestly, possible we're here for interacting with them. And now finally, I'm going to talk about live performances. Live performances are a fantastic way to showcase an artist's talent and connect with fans face to face. Because of the digital age, live performances are often the highest revenue earner for artists. Music business professor Brad Auerbach once told me that the best way to build a fan base is to focus on garnering the support of one's local fan base. Considering this, local performances are the best way to gather their attention. Good Enough has implemented this practice as they continue to promote their music. Within the last 6 months, as of March 2026, the duo has held 4 performances at popular venues in Seattle, Washington, and they have one on April 30th coming up very soon. While performances are an incredible way to connect with fans and the artist's local audience, this can only be done successfully if marketed correctly. Artists should first create flyers and visual advertisements that can be utilized in both physical and digital settings. Social media is a phenomenal marketing tool, so creating flyers that can be marketed through social media is vital to the success of any artist performance. And beyond this, an artist must consistently post about this upcoming event in order to keep it relevant. Once it loses its relevance, it's really hard to earn it back. Additionally, working alongside other artists can help gather a large audience. Good Enough has utilized this strategy multiple times, running very successful shows. In their February 14th performance at the Hidden Hall, which you see the flyer right here, they specifically advertised their performance as among the strictly local artists, inclining locals to show more support towards the performance and therefore building their local fan base. Performing is an art, but it's also a marketing strategy. It's crucial to understand how to efficiently promote yourself and performances in all instances. Circling back to Professor Auerbach, an artist's local fan base is vital to an artist's success, and live performances are a phenomenal strategy to gain this fan base. Kellogg highlights that once you have the attention, that it's the live performance that is the adhesive that cements a long-lasting relationship with fans. Now, to conclude, the success in the music industry is not carved out for any industry professional or any artist. Instead, it is a result of consistent trial and error, practice, and dedication. As an artist, it is crucial to understand the industry and how they operate and how to best approach it. Each topic I listed above has proved to be important for artist careers through my work with Indie Band Good Enough. Do we have any questions? Yes.
I have a question. So, as a brand, so you're for a band, and it seems to me like you kind of like the band thing. You're trying to find fans who are similar to you and like things that you like. How does that work as you grow as a person if you're no longer like they're young and they're not the people that they were like in their 20s now?
Absolutely. I think when you develop a brand for an artist, that brand is going to have the same general idea, but as that person grows as well, it's going to develop with it. And so, like you said, your ideal fan is going to be someone who's very similar towards you. So you kind of just, as it develops, you develop with it. And so I think you just have to constantly look at the people who are consuming your media and just see how they are as people, and then just kind of develop it towards that. Do I have any other questions? Yes.
How did you define it good enough? Like, were you a listener beforehand, or did you just find this something?
I see Amelia smirking real hard in the crowd. So I was terrified when I found out that I had 2 days to connect with a band. And I was contacting any small artist I knew of, and Amelia happened to send over Good Enough's TikTok. So I emailed and DM'd them. So they heard a lot from me. And they responded very quickly, and I worked with them, and then once the class ended, they loved my work, and now I'm officially their marketing coordinator. Guys. Well, before I go on to acknowledgements, I just want to make sure, are there any other questions? Yes, Addie.
Will you mention me when you become famous?
Of course, my first brand will go to you.
Yeah.
How much I pay?
I'm an intern.
So you had to email like all these people, right? How many emails did you send?
Wow. I think I've sent anywhere between 30 to 50 emails for them. And that list still grows. They actually have a song coming out this Wednesday. Make sure to tune in. It's called Back East. So I've been actively emailing a lot of industry professionals, and I just got them an interview actually. So they'll be having an interview this Friday. Wow. Yeah, this Friday. Any other questions? Great. Well, I want to thank some people. First off, this distinction would not have been possible without Mr. Bosco agreeing to take it on as my main mentor. He had to deal with many topic changes. I knew I wanted to do something in the music industry, but I wasn't quite sure yet. And then, of course, I want to thank Dr. Stevens and Mr. Matthew Craig for being my incredible readers. They really helped this distinction become what I envisioned for it, and it would not be possible without them. I'd like to thank my family, specifically my grandparents are in the crowd right now. Woo! They drove 4 hours to be here, and I'm incredibly grateful that they're here. And I guess I'll thank my cousin Amelia too. Friends who dealt with many crash outs and many fears of if my work is good enough, no pun intended.
No, it was very
All of you
intended.
guys here, I'm incredibly grateful that you took time out of your day to come listen to me speak. This has been a passion project that's been over a year old, so I'm really grateful that you guys took the time to listen to it. And most importantly, I want to thank Good Enough. I emailed them with 2 days to spare, and I wasn't even in college, and most people would see that and say, okay, no next. But they did it, and I'm incredibly grateful for them taking a chance on me. So without them, this project wouldn't be here, and they're just really great people. I want to thank you all again for coming today, and remember, you are always good enough.